a lot of girls telling me in Delhi that, yeah, you like my brother. And I used to be really upset. You know, my father died. That wasn't very nice. Well, that all this is going to end in a hospital room with tubes in you. God knows when. Unfortunately, in India, sometimes you have to be someone special in order to get things done normally. The most fun thing that they find to do is to make the money. It's like a voice that speaks to you, that tells you this is where you should be. A lot of people are in the wrong job.
I want to ask you, how are you this classy? Is there can you give me some core rules of being classy?
No, look, I think first of all you have to be unaware of that sort of thing and
Low-key.
Low key and kind of. I think it's to do with what we've seen as kids and respect. You know.
Yeah.
This country is there's so much unfairness. The people that work for us, the people that drive our cars and stuff. It just constantly kind of bothers me, and I'm aware that the least we can do is be kind of polite about things to everyone.
Yeah.
And I think my dad was like an ultimate kind. So you get a lot of this from your father if you respect him. Some people don't, and they join the Taliban. But I think, it's not actually a joke. Yeah, they don't. I mean, some people don't respect their fathers. They're like, okay, I'm going to join a street gang.
Yeah.
But some people do respect their fathers, and I think.
Do you think respect is the core of class?
Yeah, for yourself, for life, kind of. I mean, most classy people.
Yeah.
Have respect.
So, and what about charm?
I don't know. I
what's your
think all
secrets?
this has taken years, I don't know.
You
I
weren't
don't
always
even know.
this charming?
No, I used to really try.
Okay.
There was this, I remember being a kid and a lot of girls telling me in Delhi that, yeah, you like my brother. And I used to be really upset. And then one summer, I think it just changed. I don't know. I think it's growing up. I don't know what it is. I just know a bad thing is to be pretentious. I think if you don't pretend.
Be
Whatever
yourself.
it is. Yeah, just be yourself.
And if yourself is filled with a lot of books in the head,
it helps, if you've got some new fresh ideas, and it's better than, talking. You got to be careful who you're talking to. It all
What do you
rubs
mean?
off. It rubs off, if you're like people, there's a cliche that you're known by the company you keep.
You're an
Like,
average of the 5 people around you.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, you be careful. Maybe it's better off sometimes reading a book, I feel, than just hanging out for the sake of, but maybe you're lucky you have 5 great, nice people around you then.
What's been the worst moment of your life?
The worst moment of my life, God, I don't know. There's been some run-ins with the law. There's been some,
No, but on an
shit
emotional
that's hit
level.
the fan. My father died. That wasn't very nice.
What did it teach you?
Well, that all this is going to end in a hospital room with tubes in you. God knows when.
Does that trouble you?
It doesn't trouble me, but it makes me aware, and I think about it, and I just say, okay, so that's where I don't understand people who never think about it. I think everything is actually driven by the fact that we're going to die, whether we understand it or not.
Yeah.
That's why we like things or not like things. That's what it all boils down to.
Yeah. You're getting
That's why art is great,
Yeah.
because it's like you're capturing a moment in film or in thought, or you like even a painting or whatever. You're like freezing time and saying it's kind of defying the oblivion
Yeah.
of time, right? Of death, by saying, okay, I'll do something that'll maybe last.
What's age taught you?
Well, I think age has taught me humility and also appreciation of so many things. And I think you slow down a little bit and you're a little less arrogant, like I was saying, and you just, a little more understanding of things around.
Also, the thing you said about being slightly stressed all the time, where you don't know when success will last and when your bad days will start.
Yeah.
Has that reduced with age? Because that happens to all of us, man.
Well, if you're lucky, you're kind of in a decent place with friends and family. And actually, I've learned the kind of life I've had and upbringing I've had. You don't need so much money. I mean, after a point, you see guys just being silly with money. I mean, of course, there's no end.
What have you learned from fame?
But I'm not really a fan of fame. I don't think it's...
You don't enjoy it?
No, I don't think it's useful at all. I think it's in fact quite a hindrance, and it's quite annoying. unfortunately, in India, sometimes you have to be someone special in order to get things done normally. Like if you just want to get things done normally, it helps if you're somebody, which is a little sad. I think money can give you a lot of things that you think fame can. No, I mean, you're there's some, let's say you're Mr. Ambani or something. I mean, you don't need to be famous. I mean, you have the world at your feet. So money can also do that. Fame is in fact a hindrance to getting things done.
Does it take away from your peace?
I'm sure a little bit, but what it gives you is
way
more. I mean, it's not, peace is the most important thing. Yeah. So it doesn't take away your peace.
What's your advice?
You shouldn't look for peace on Chowpatty if you're famous. You should look for it somewhere else.
Was competition ever a big part of your life? Like a big part of your mind and your existence, especially early 2000s?
Yeah, it kind of was. I mean, competition was important and it was a big part of my life. But I realized once when dear old Sanjay Dutt went to jail, he didn't help me much. So I realized that wishing ill on your peers doesn't help you. The only thing that can really help you is you doing better.
Improving yourself.
Yeah.
Competing with yourself.
Yeah, competing with yourself.
What do actors do with their money?
I don't know what actors do, but I know a lot of people.
What do you do?
Okay, I'll tell you. I spend it. I save some of it. I mean, there's always a thought that it'll all end tomorrow, like I told you.
Do you think about money and losing money?
I tell you something. That guy just fell over here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that frightens me and it worries me, but doesn't completely surprise me because I think that can happen to any of us at any time. So, I spend more than half of it. And in case I don't fall over tomorrow, I keep some of it and I invest it and I look after it to kind of keep things going. And money cannot be enjoyed without a certain amount of culture. That much I can tell you.
What do you mean? Can you elaborate?
Yeah. Like if you've got cash, I mean, how to convert that into enjoyment? That conduit is culture, because whether it's listening to music, whether it's like having a nice drink of something good, or going somewhere interesting, or watching something, or engaging the senses somehow.
Money's no good in the bank, basically. Like you need to.
I mean, it might give you a sense of security, and some people make the mistake because of the environment they live in. The most fun thing that they find to do is to make the money. That feeling of making it is what they live on, which is not what I do. So I really enjoy converting it into fun.
Into experiences. Could you give a young 22-year-old, 23-year-old human some career advice?
Well, if you I think you got to find your vocation. You got to find what really is called a vocation. It's from Latin. So it's like a voice that speaks to you, that tells you this is where you should be. A lot of people are in the wrong job. So if you find the right job for yourself, and hopefully you really love it, you have to love it.
Yeah.
And it's all changing now. I don't know. I mean, those classic jobs like doctor and lawyer, and there's so many things.
Now you can be a YouTuber or a podcaster.
Yeah, so follow your heart. As long as if you're passionate about it, you might be good at it. Yeah. All you have to ever read really is Shakespeare and Milton. So Shakespeare in Hamlet, Polonius' speech where he tells his son who is leaving and going somewhere, gives him some advice. So you just read Polonius' speech to his son and just follow that. The last few lines of it are, and above all else, to thine own self be true. So be true to yourself. For then, as sure as night follows day, you cannot be false to anyone else.